Okay, welcome to the half-hour mindfulness session today. And as always, I'd like you to take a moment to thank yourself for setting aside time today for self-care. And then we're going to start with a grounding practice, so we can let go of whatever was happening before we got here and help our body settle into the space that we're in. Grounding practice we've been doing each week is to have one on your forehead and then one hand on the back where the skull meets the neck. These have points on the body that help calm the central nervous system. And just breathing, not controlling the breath, just letting the breath be. Letting the hands rest gently on the forehead and the back of the head and neck. And letting go with a grounding practice, bringing the hands down. And there are many different mindfulness practices that I pull from each week. And we've been working with Strozzi Institute Embodiment practice that Amanda Blake has shared with folks. So we've been doing that the last few weeks, and I'll be continuing with that this week. So previously we had practiced being present in the body, and then centering in the body, and centering in what you care about. And we'll be reviewing those practices again today, and then adding on taking what you care about into the world, so centering into action. So we'll build the capacity to take what you care about into action. And we're going to be doing a movement practice, so if you can start standing, that would be great. And utilizing the two fists together as an indication of possible hips width distance apart for your feet. Keeping in mind that every body is different, so you may have to adjust and come a little bit further apart with your feet. But the point is to be utilizing your bones to hold up most of your weight versus taxing or stressing the muscles of the body. So if you get in a standing position with your feet hips width distance apart, and we'll start with becoming present in the body. And during this practice, we want to try and keep our eyes open today. And you can do that by having a soft gaze a few feet in front of you. I know a lot of times with mindfulness practices, we close our eyes to come inward. And we're going, like I said, we're using Amanda Blake's Strozzi Institute embodiment practice. And so we're going to try and keep the eyes open today and being present with what is around us and what's happening, what's present now. And I'll remind us, because the tendency may be to close the eyes. So sensing into the body and seeing what's happening presently, temperature-wise. Are there certain areas of the body that are cooler or warmer than others? For example, maybe the hands are cooler. Maybe some people, their feet are warmer. Not judging our body, just noticing temperature differences that we may have from one area to the body, one area of the body to the next. Also paying attention to the neutral areas of the body. And letting go of the temperature differences. And now coming to pressure in the body. Maybe we notice a tightness in a certain area, maybe the shoulders or the low back. Or maybe there's a lightness and an airiness in different parts of the body. Again, not judging the body one way or the other, just noticing these pressure differences in the body. Letting go of pressure. Now bringing our awareness of the body in relation to movement sensations. Maybe there's a zinging or a tingling or maybe a aching pain in the body. You can notice that sensation. Or maybe there's movement in the body from breathing, and we can notice that with the lungs expanding and contracting. Or maybe we can even sense into the heartbeat, or heart beating within the body. And I just want to check in and make sure folks' eyes are open. Again, with a soft gaze. And there's no need to watch me, just listen to my voice. And checking in with the body and maybe naming one sensation that's most prevalent, maybe out of the temperature, pressure, or movement. What sensation is the most prevalent in the body? And letting go of that sensation. And now noticing in the body what the mood is. How are we feeling? Maybe there's an emotion that's strongest. If you can name that mood or emotion, what would it be? I'm not getting caught up in a story of why we feel this way or that way. Just naming that emotion, that mood. And letting go of that mood. And now bringing the awareness into the body, into our length, from head to toe, from toes up to the top of the head. Noticing our length, our feet on the ground, our head towards the sky. And being natural height, not shrinking or overextending, but being present in our natural height from head to toe. Now shifting the awareness to our width, from left to right and right to left. Maybe even rocking side to side on the feet. And seeing if there's a center spot from left to right where we're more evenly weighted. Noticing the body's presence and width from one ear to the other, from one shoulder to the other. across the torso, between the two legs and feet. Noticing in the peripheral vision maybe what's further off to the right or to the left. Are we closer to a wall or a chair? Or maybe we're in a room with other people. Noticing where other things are off to our right and to our left. And now letting go of width and moving into depth, the front and the back of the body. And maybe again rocking a little bit, and this time front to back from heel to toes. Seeing if there's a space that's evenly weighted. That's maybe better for us than where we initially were. Finding that balance from front to back so you're not leaning towards the world or away from the world with yourself, but present with yourself and what is around you. Feeling where the skin meets the air. Again, checking in, are the eyes relaxed but open? How about the rest of the body? Are the knees soft? Is it possible to drop the breath further down into the lungs and the belly? And now placing your hand on your belly. Or a little bit below the navel. And see if you can sense your hand on the outside of the body from the inside of your body, from inside the belly. A different way of sensing that we may not be used to. So many cultures believe this area is the place of power within us, and center of gravity of the body is where life moves through us and we move through life. And if we're contracted anywhere, seeing if we can soften that area, maybe relaxing the shoulders if there's still some tightness there. Now calling to mind the center of gravity in your life. What do you care about? What's important to you? Who do you love? What brings you joy and energy? What fills you with enthusiasm? Out of those items that you just named, pick one of them. And relaxing the hands down at the side, no longer on the belly. And using your imagination, feel that item you picked, the length of your body, from the belly down to the feet, from the belly up to the head, imagining what you care about, filling your whole length from head to toe. imagine that thing that you picked, embodying it, and filling your width from left to right, from right to left. Seeing if the breath can maybe drop a little lower into the lungs. And then taking that item and having it fill your depth from front to back, back to front. You're fully embodying what you care about, what's most important to you. And pay attention if there's any sensations in the body. And now we're going to begin moving when your body's ready. Begin to start walking, but letting your body decide when it's a good time to take your first step. Maybe you'd notice that by the chin being pulled forward. And as you begin to walk, trying to keep the attention on the center. You may lose attention of your center as you're moving. Try and bring your attention back to center as you're walking and moving through space. Sensing your whole body and what you care about as you're moving. Sensing it in your length and your width and your depth. Maybe walking at a slower pace. And if you get thrown off your center, noticing that and bringing yourself back. Continuing to walk. And notice if you're holding yourself tightly, trying to force yourself to stay in center and not get thrown off. Seeing if you can relax and let yourself be thrown off. And practice returning to center. This practice of centering in action is not about holding things tightly to an idealized version of yourself or trying to control life. Life will come at you. It will throw you off center. You want to be able to come back again and again. So again, if you're trying to constrict and hold yourself to not lose control or stay centered, seeing if you can let go of that. And being okay with being thrown off center and needing to come back. Maybe you even need to stop walking or slow the pace even further. The practice is, as I said, really about returning to center again and again. Returning to a place of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual balance. So let yourself get thrown off balance and come back to center here. Not judging yourself. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Focusing on the centering while moving and the eyes open. So be kind and compassionate with yourself. Not expecting yourself to perfect this the first time. Some of you may have not ever been exposed to this before. And just to reiterate, it's to allow yourself to get thrown off and come back, returning again and again. And you can come to a stop if you were moving, and sensing into the body. Taking a couple more breaths. So that's the practice for today. Taking centering into action, having the eyes open and moving through space, and visualizing that center of gravity and what you care about, being in your whole body and moving through space with what you care about. So you can try to practice that again throughout the day, maybe while you're walking to a meeting, walking to or from your car or home. Just practicing in little bits here and there, so that when you do get thrown off by some life event, you'll have a place to return to that gives you more choice, calm, focused attention, so that you can hopefully respond in maybe a better action moving forward that you may not have if you weren't centered, if you weren't in that home base, so to speak. Okay, I hope you enjoy the practice today, and I'll see you next week. Have a good day. Bye-bye.